Yeah, so here we got these paywalls, right? I'm not sure if you guys came in here, probably messed around a little bit already. I'm just kind of gonna do a brief overview of this, and we're gonna kind of go over everything with these paywalls. I know there was a few questions about integrating these paywalls, so I'm just gonna show you guys exactly how we can do that. And if you guys have any questions along the way, just speak out, and I'll answer that question while we're going along. So as you see now, I'm gonna swing down to my account. When you come into my account now, you'll see a few more changes, as well as if you go into the Stripe Connect, especially for you, Marcin, you can come in here now and you can actually reset that connection and go ahead and sign back up. But this is where you'll be able to keep, your information for withdrawing the money from your users that are signing up. We'll also have this revenue events where, you'll have, I'm not sure if you guys seen all this yet, but you can read through here on what's going to be in here. We're going to continue to really build this out. We really wanted you guys to be one of the first users. I've been in contact with a lot of you guys. And so we're going to kind of go, right into this with the paywall. So have any of you guys tried? I know, Brandon, I know that you were putting through a few things on the configuration for the paywalls. Has anyone else set up a paywall yet or no?
I have.
You
Yeah,
have?
mhm.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go through this and show you guys again really quick. If you guys want to see, I'll run through it again, just show really how simple it is. It's really like copying and pasting. So I have a GPT that I made earlier. It's called Exercise Buddy. We're just going to come in here and edit this real quick. As you can see, a lot of GPTs, they have like the instructions, descriptions, name, obviously. A lot of them don't go any further than that. When we build out these GPTs, and you don't even have to use these actions besides for the paywall, but if you do have actions in here already, say you're building something like I showed with the Rapid API, if you do have actions in here already, you're not going to edit these actions to do the paywall. What you're going to do is you're going to create a new action, because you can have more than one action in this. So the paywall will be its own action. What we're going to do, I'm just going to do a little run through. I keep having this thing pop down, so it's hard to click on these other pages. We're just going to call this one whatever. I'll just do a demo. It doesn't matter. You can put whatever name you really want. This is what's going to show up on that payment paywall whenever the user tries to log into that GPT. So what we're going to just say is unlimited access, whatever. You can go into it. We're going to do a 3-day free trial with this one. And then I'll just keep it short. You can put whatever you want, but I'll end up probably deleting this one, but I'm just kind of showing you. So then we have these pricing models. And what I'm doing here is just building out that paywall for that GPT I just showed you guys. So then we have this pricing model. We have one-time payment and then subscription pricing model for now. Barry and I have been talking about this lately, where we're going to add in different pricing models, such as, certain days. And Brandon was suggesting this to us as well, where, you can have like tiered days or usage limits and stuff like that. So you're not just stuck on doing like a one-time or a subscription on a monthly payment. But for this one, I'm just going to do the subscription. Currency is USD. Stripe actually converts this. So you can actually have people from different countries paying through this. It'll actually convert it right for you. What we're going to do for the subscription price, we're just going to say $5. You can put this up to $1 million if you really want to. And then the subscription interval would be monthly or annually. We're going to say monthly. We're going to offer that free trial. You don't have to do that. I just like doing that because I see a lot more users actually going through these GPTs if you can let them use it a little bit. You know what I mean? So what I'm clicking here is 3-day free trial. Then we just simply click create paywall. What happens here takes a second to load. Move my screen over. All right, so then we have this paywall link. You don't have to use this. You're not going to use this for your GPT, but you can use this for other things. Say you want to advertise to people and they don't want to go on the GPT to sign up for your service, and then you want to kind of say, hey, you can use my service on a GPT. You can always send them that Stripe link, and it'll also show that payment wall without being on the GPT. That's just this option here. This is like a little kind of added extra. You don't have to use it, but you can use it for as many things as you want.
Why don't you
Now,
go ahead and click the go button and show everybody what the user is going to wind up seeing when they click those links.
so here's that paywall that I just created so far. and it's Exercise Buddy GPT, what I named it, $5 a month, the 3-day free trial that I put in there, and those few forms that I filled out. And then they agree to the Authflow terms and service, which takes them to here, which is about, you guys can go in depth with this if you really want to, but this is just kind of cover everyone's butt with, the GPT creators as well as on our end as well. So yeah, they'll see this link here. What we're going to do here when we come back in here, this is how quick it really is to integrate these paywalls. So sorry, my screen keeps getting all bugged out. I'm going to move this over. You know what I'll do here? Maybe that'll be a little easier for everyone. You guys like that better, or do you just want me to go back and forth? All right, so here, I'm going to go back real quick to show you so we're not lost. Here's the GPT that I created. It already has an action. We're going to create a new action because the new action is the paywall itself. What we're going to do, simply click copy on the schema, Control V or paste. You don't even need to format this if you don't want to, but if you want to, you can. If you have any like errors or anything like that, they would show up right here in red. There's no errors here, and you can see the available action is check active paywall. Okay. So then what we're going to do here, after you've pasted this GPT schema in, what we're going to do is do the authentication, which is really simple. So this is the header key. This is like your unique token that'll make this GPT really work. And what you're going to do is you're going to copy this. You're going to come to authentication over here. You're going to click the API key. You're going to do custom. You're going to paste this API key in here that you just copied from over here, right? And then the header name, which is a custom header name here, you're going to click copy, and you're just going to paste that in there as well. You click save. You are all done. There's one more step, but you're done with the whole schema. So what we're going to do is we're going to back out of here. And this part is very important, this last part, because you're going to have this top context instructions. These are the instructions that go with that schema pretty much to make all this kind of wrap together, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, but you don't want to scroll down in your instructions here. You want to put these at the very top. So you're going to copy this. You're going to paste this in the very top right here. And what I do is I just click like enter or something again, just kind of separate it. But these instructions always need to be in the top of your GPT. So now that we've done that, this paywall is complete. So what we're going to do, we're going to open this back up. We stack this back over. Barry, you know what? I didn't think we had that update up yet. Barry actually just put that up within the last like 30 minutes. Okay, yeah. So one more thing.
Awesome.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. I have your guys's, I don't think you can see it on my screen, but on your screen, all the way on my screen, all the way on the bottom is all your guys' faces, so I didn't see it. Okay, so when you are in the schema, that schema that we built, in order to publish your custom GPT to the store and have people be able to use it, you're going to need a privacy policy. So what we're going to do, simply click here, paste this.
Is it yours or is it ours? Because
this
if
is
you're
ours. It's going to work.
Will it show up as yours? I mean, if we're going to create paywalls, is it going to be the Authflow privacy policy or will it be our privacy policy?
Yeah, so with that, it would be the Authflow privacy policy because we are writing the privacy policy for this schema here.
I see.
And since that privacy policy is specific to this action schema.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So since we're the creators of it, we're the ones I believe are responsible for.
Correct. Okay. I just want to make sure of which privacy policy I'm putting in there. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you did,
it makes our life easier. It makes here, Chris
Oh,
up late last night trying to figure out. So when he told me he has this covered, I was like, I'm good to go.
Yeah, so you would, the other time you would probably need a privacy policy, and this is a little off topic, but if say you have, your other actions in here, I'm not sure how far GPT looks into these, but like say you had other actions for like running stuff through Rapid API, you'd probably want your own privacy policy on that end. But if I think it can really work universal, but that's kind of up to your own discretion as well. You know what I mean? Anyone have any questions so far?
I do
Okay.
have a bunch, probably. I can hear much. So basically, I have a bunch of GPTs that work as a bundle. And now the question is, can I create a subscription that will work with all of them? Just one
Yeah.
subscription.
Absolutely, yeah. So when you create these paywalls, they're not, they're not restricted to just one GPT. You can take that schema and put it in 100 GPTs. They would all share that same subscription payment link, and everybody would be able to authenticate, a user can authenticate through any of your GPTs as long as they're all referencing that one payment link.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and then the other way about it would be to go and say you want different payment amounts for each GPT, then you would just go ahead and create a different paywall for each one. Marcin, did you have a question?
Yes, I just saw this authentication instructions, and they take a bit of a space there. The problem I have at the moment, I maxed out all the space using the instructions for the GPT. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to implement the instructions. I have to shorten my original instructions.
Did you hit the 8,000 character limit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we actually noticed that the other day. And Barry and I, we've read a lot about this and tested this out a lot. A lot of the times, believe it or not, and it depends really how you're building. And Barry, you can say something about this too if you want, but it depends really how you're building. But what we found is that you really don't need those real complex instructions. I know 8,000 is not very much, but we've been able to run, GPTs. I'm not sure if you're using it with Schema and stuff like that, but we've been able to run GPTs without even having instructions. You get what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, just to elaborate, this is kind of the first iteration of this. So as you guys use this, if you discover better ways to set those prompts up, the instructions up, we're definitely happy for that feedback. But we're going to be testing out a way where the schema itself is holding all the instructions. And the perfect end state would be there is no instruction. You have to put it in there. It would just look at the API, the schema that you paste in, and it would just work off that. But we need to set that up, test it out, make sure that's even feasible. But according to OpenAI, they indicate that from what they say, it should be possible. So in the future, there may be a setup where you don't even need any instructions in your instruction at all, and it'll just save it for.
That would be great, because I literally spent 6 months of developing new kind of approach to GPT, where GPT asks you questions and guides you through the steps. So I had to, create those complicated multi-step instructions. That's why it took so much space. But
and what you can do to actually get around that, and what I just thought of is you can actually point to those instructions. Say you put them in a knowledge base or put them in a database somewhere. Then
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Instead of having that full 8,000 character limit of creating these instructions, and you can just put it in, say, a drive, or say reference to this drive, or have it do a call that way, or the knowledge base, and then that'll go.
That's what I thought. Map it to a knowledge base. Yeah. If that's possible, that's great.
Yep.
I have a question about the API. If we're doing a pricing model of a one-time payment, then why would there be a drop down?
What do you mean?
So if I'm doing a pricing model for my GPT and it's a one-time payment, would there be a drop down? Because if the API is stipulating that it's only a one-time payment, then there wouldn't be a drop down for a subscription. Because if I'm going to do a subscription, it's going to allow me to do a subscription, then I'm going to have that subscription paywall in there. So that's
Are you talking about the drop down?
Yeah, on the price model.
Oh, on this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at this point here, you haven't created a paywall yet. It doesn't know what you want. You have to pick. Are you setting up a one-time payment?
Oh, okay. I see. I'm sorry. I thought we were in the purchase part of it. Never mind. That was just, never mind.
Oh, you're okay.
I'm way past never mind.
No sweat.
No, it's okay.
I find it really easy to set up after you get the hang of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is good feedback though, because we'll definitely rearrange these UIs or whatever, put more information on them so it's just more clear what you're looking at. So
So this part, it's just the setup part. Whenever you're in the create paywall, you're just setting up that paywall to go here.
here you go.
You know what? This gets so easy after you've done it a few times. You'll be able to do it with your eyes closed, honestly. You know what? I'm going to tell people if you can copy and paste, you can implement a paywall.
I think, guys, you created very, great system, simplified for the user. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Barry had a big part in putting out this rollout here, and he showed me the other day. I'm like, holy crap, dude, man, it just flows good, and yeah. So you guys have all seen this working? Have you guys seen this working?
So
Give the demo.
before we get too far, I have a question. If you want to set up two paywalls, like one being monthly at the moment and then one being a lifetime subscription, you said that you're going to have that in the future as a feature, as you can just click a button and switch it in the paywall. But at the moment, would you make two paywalls, copy and paste the schemas into both, and then train the GTP to have access to both links?
I don't think that's possible right now. Like, because you can only have one, like if you try to set up another action and it was another schema, it wouldn't let the GPT would not let you save it because you can only have one action per, like in our case, it'd be Authflow. It'd be one action per like domain basically. So I don't know that there's any workaround currently that would let you set up two paywalls for the same GPT and the GPT would bounce between them. I don't think we'd have to figure out we'd have to make some adjustments on our end to kind of facilitate that.
I was curious.
No, I think it's great ideas because eventually we want to get to the point where we're able to hit this every way possible. You know what I mean? So that's why we got you guys on here.
Yeah, and the way I'm looking at it is like we are the better testers, so we need to really think about user experience and give feedback
Yeah.
on we think would make sense or would be ideal to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I have a question?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No,
That's
thank
so
you.
cool.
Yep.
Really cool. I'd like to know how you guys are building your GPTs in here, and then how are you getting them? Like, for example, are you using Schema to build your GPTs and then selling them, or how are you doing that? How are you guys marketing that?
Yeah, so all I do, you're talking about like with say this GPT here, Exercise Buddy or something.
Yeah, like your GPTs, like you have, I don't know, like 25 of them or something. I don't know. how
Yeah,
many.
so I go and I did like a little video on this, but I'm just going to show you guys. It's super freaking easy. I made that GPT creator a while back. What I do, I literally go in here. So like this Exercise Buddy GPT. Let me just see if I can pull it up real quick. Hold on one second. Because we want you guys to be pros at building these GPTs too. So I'm going to show you the easiest ways to going about this because if
Chris,
you guys, yeah.
I have a question. I'm sorry. Well,
No, you're
because
good.
I saw that, and I do loans, and I pretty much fed my GPT like literally 30 years of information, and
Okay.
I saw like several APIs that I can add to my GPT to make it like super good.
Yeah.
Does the schema uploading the APIs affect the knowledge that I uploaded to there?
So no and yes, I guess. But what the schema is really for is say you're building out these schemas with say these API endpoints that you found or something on Rapid API that you can use, or they have a bunch of different things like Rapid API, but your schema is going to be for these functions that are already built unless you're actually like writing out your own endpoints. But that schema, whenever it's calling that schema or calling that endpoint, what it's doing is it's actually going into the information and all the get functions, post functions, all that stuff within that schema. So it doesn't really like go into your knowledge base in a way, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain, but whenever you paste a schema in there, that's for its own action. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
Thank
to
you.
try to elaborate, it is kind of a complicated concept to think about for a lot of people that aren't necessarily developers or have never talked about APIs or anything like that. But what these schemas are doing in the GPT is basically, when you have no schemas in there, the GPT is basically just, when you chat with it, it's just chatting with general knowledge that it has within itself. But when you put those schemas in there, it's almost like you're giving it almost like a phone book that it can reference, so that if you're asking certain questions, it'll look and see if it can call third party, APIs to kind of answer those questions that's outside of its knowledge, because like, for example, the GPTs, naturally aren't going to know, for example, like what the current, like if you ask it, what did the stock market close at today? The GPT doesn't know that because it just has a limited understanding of the world at a fixed point in time. These APIs really just give it access to all sorts of data that, it doesn't normally have, because either it's real time or it's proprietary and it didn't have access to it to begin with. And that's what those schemas do, is it's kind of giving it a directory of things it can reference, and it can just look at those schemas and understand when it's appropriate to even call those to get the data out. If that makes sense.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for the clarification.
Yeah, it pretty much puts your GPTs with superpowers, I would say, because you can see in the GPT store, there's not a lot of stuff out there that does a lot of API endpoints, and stuff that does, they're a lot better than the ones that don't. You know what I mean? But anyone have any more questions before I show you guys this?
Yes, I think I asked it as before. Do you have any, I don't know, programs or do any collaborations or white label services so we can make money with you guys?
Soon we're going to, I like to say soon in this world, but stuff takes a long time usually, and we will eventually look into the possibility of building out, like an affiliate portal with, say, Authflow and stuff like that. But as this moment in time, we don't really have anything we're doing where, in regards to Authflow, where we have any kind of partner agreements set up yet.
Chris, would you be able to do a quick, I don't know if you have one, tutorial on how to pull or even Barry, like how to pull those APIs? Like, the information I want to get is, some of it's like on YouTube, some of it's from different sites like the CFPB or the FTC, or FCRA. So I want to know if there's a way how I would get that information that I need.
So you want to search data on like a website per se? Is that what you're saying? Or
for example, the new rulings on credit, and there's some really new rulings on like what they can actually do with your credit, right? So a lot of people don't know that. And so my goal is to take what I've done with my credit and show them, like, if there's, you can do this beyond going through my AI software. If you have things that aren't coming off, here's how to get those off. And like, this is what you reference. And so being able to pull that information into that GPT, that's what I want to do.
yeah, with that,
Can I speak? I'm sorry, because I do loans and stuff. There's a credit API in Rapid API.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's what I was my thing there, and it pulls the information. It actually gives a score, and it qualifies. So there's probably more. So everything that I was building my GPT was like an underwriting function and qualifying and stuff. So when I was searching the Rapid API, I found the credit API and some other APIs that help facilitate that function, as far as Zillow, and just pulling different information into that GPT that's going to help.
Okay, so
an underwriter.
Exactly. So like with Rapid API, Nicole, you can come in here and say like credit or whatever you're trying to pull. What you're going to do, you can look through all these. Let me make my screen bigger. You can look through all like these different GPT or APIs. I'm sorry.
I can add to that. Like, can I add a YouTube API of somebody's channel?
You could do this. Like you can have multiple APIs within one GPT. So like you would just have to write different schemas for each one, but you can have them kind of work together in a way as well. But like say you wanted to do a YouTube API or something like that, they actually have, instead of you having to build all this out, they actually have like YouTube version 2 in here where you can come in here and they'll have, you want to say something, Barry, or you're just clicking?
Just my computer making noise.
Oh, okay. What they'll have is all these right here is all these different get functions, right? And this is, you know, what they have here is all these different functions, right? All these get functions, like this is video details, say for YouTube, whatever. This is using YouTube's API. So what I would do with this, I have this GPT that I created, and I think some of you guys use it. Oh my goodness, my screen. I have this. I'm just gonna show it right. I got to figure out how to get rid of this bar up here. So I have this GPT. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I think the trickiest part of, like, say, you know, you're on Rapid API and you want to use one of their APIs for your GPT. I think the trickiest part is getting the schema of that API.
Yeah. So
And yeah, I think Chris here, I think he's about to show a GPT he created to help streamline that.
yeah, so all you would do with this, you see all this, you technically don't have to copy all of this information. Like you don't need this header key and stuff like that. But to make your life easier, and this is how I'm able to like crank out these GPTs in literally like 3 minutes when using all these endpoints and all these actions in it. What I'll do is I'll just come to my GPT creator that I made. This GPT creator is like specialized in opening up their API spec that you need for that schema. So what I'll do is I'll just say, I'm creating a new GPT, right? Here are the code snippets, this easy, right? So what I would start doing is I would just start going in here, and this is the longest process of it, right? I just start coming in here, copying all these one by one, pasting them in. You see what I'm doing?
Look, you can't really see, but he is copying like
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I mean, I see
Yeah.
it.
I see it. He's
The co-
copying from the YouTube
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, I'm doing each function. So if you want to include each function in this schema, what you're going to do is you're going to copy each one and then paste each one in. I'm making this bigger, as you guys can see. You
Do
know,
you need each function or
no,
can you
you
like
technically don't.
okay.
yeah, you can just look through the list of functions on the left there and figure out which ones are relevant to what you're
Yeah.
Okay.
doing.
Okay.
And-
Some of these APIs could have hundreds of things it can do, and you may only need like 10 of them.
Yeah,
Can I use
exactly.
my own GPT creator for this too?
What'd you say?
Can I use my own GPT creator for this too?
Yeah, exactly. The one that you got from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I can use that and then I can pull from just the content on the channel, like the videos on the channel, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So this one's gonna do like video comments and stuff. I'm just gonna write this out real quick and show you. I just copied down from this one all the way up to here. Just
Okay.
these ones. These are just video functions, but all I'm gonna do is just send it here, right? And yours should work the same way as this. This should already started.
What
And
about specificity in these? Like I want them to be finance and credit and I want that. I don't want just everything.
No, yeah. So depending on the API, so like this is the YouTube API. So this is going to search anything that you tell it to search. Like say you said credit videos or comments about credit on this video or anything like that. That's what this is going to do. But if you get like a credit API, you would just follow the same process with copying copying all the get functions on the side. Marcin, do you have a question?
Yes, so once you create these references, I mean the connect those APIs, how do you reference it in instructions?
I'll show you. So with this GPT creator, what it usually does, and you don't even have to use this GPT creator. There's other people that have stuff on here. I just trained this one, so I know it works. You know what I mean? What I have here is this is actually trained to give the instructions with the configuration, right? But I'm going to show you, like, if we just copy this schema.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Maybe demonstrate.
Yeah, that's
don't-
what I'm going to
don't even-
show without the instructions.
Yeah, you don't even need instructions. The GPT just reads all that schema, and that's the instruction. Like, it understands what it means.
Oh my goodness.
So that's one area that you can save on that 8,000 instruction limit is
Exactly.
if you have enough details in your schema, like good descriptions of what everything does, you don't even need to put it into the instruction.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'll just show you. So I just took that schema, right? I'm not even going to put anything in here. No name, no description, nothing. I'm going to uncheck these because when I'm writing with the schema, I don't like to have it browsing the web as well, because you can do it if you want, but I think sometimes it gets confused and it kind of throws it off. So what we're going to do, I already took that code that it just wrote for me. We're going to put it right in here, and you should see, and you should see all these functions that I just copied into that GPT. Now, I haven't written any instructions. We are going to need a authentication from Rapid API. How do I hide this? I'm sorry, guys. Hide video panel. Wait. Oh, there we go. Thank God. Okay, now we're going to be a little quicker at this. All right, so here is the... Okay. So I just copied this, right? We don't have any authentication. You're going to need authentication. This isn't going to write you authentication. For the authentication, all you would do, and you just come into the Rapid API where you've been copying stuff. You're going to see here, I've already subscribed for this, but you would actually have to like subscribe for it first. Like you can do a free one until you hit your limit. Then, you know, depending on different APIs, they cost different amounts of money. That's another reason why we decided to come up with Authflow, because then, you know, I like to share these GPTs with people, and all these people are calling the endpoints, and at the back end, I was paying for a lot of it. You know what I mean? So now that we're able to charge people to use this stuff, now we can use like these mega plans on stuff and be able to, you know, cover the costs of what we weren't able to before. But what you'd have to do is you'd have to subscribe, but I'll just come back here real quick. So when you do this authentication, you guys still following along with me?
Yeah, we have.
Okay. When you do this authentication, after you've copied and got your schema, you'll see like X Rapid API key and then the token, kind of like what you're dealing with on Authflow. Same exact thing. So this is like the headers. What you would do, just copy this, just like you would from the copy and paste from Authflow. We're always going to do custom with stuff like this. And then you just copy X Rapid API keys, because that's the header name.
Is that what you look for inside of it the whole time is X
Yeah, that's
Rapid?
it.
So you
Yep.
can just search for it? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And then I'm going to open this big screen again. Remember, I did the authentication for that. I had to create the instruction or the actions. If I come back here, you guys will see I don't have anything in here, like the instructions or anything like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, you know, get golfing videos, and let's call it the endpoint, because it has no instructions. But what it's going to do is it's going to come down in here and do all these get functions. So let's just always allow. And here you
Oh,
go.
wow.
Yeah, so it's not even trained. You know, we don't have any instructions to train it, but you're able to see that it's pulling using that API from YouTube, where we can actually, you know, click on the video, blah, blah. And then this stuff's pretty powerful. So you could say, you know, give me 10 comments. You know, you can use this for any use case, but give me 10 comments for number one, you know, or whatever. Let's just see. I think I put that action in there, but there was a lot more actions that we could have put. But see, this is even pulling comments from, you know, profiles that commented on this video even, you know what I mean? So this has no instructions, but it is still able to do so much stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you could do, you know, you could potentially, if you did put instructions in there, then you could kind of refine it and say like, you know, only ever return, you know, children's videos or something, so that it, you know, so the GPT has extra awareness of how it should be interacting with these APIs. And
Exactly.
And you could, you could go through, I don't know how many actions you can create in a GPT, but you could go add, hook, put like YouTube API in there, Spotify, or who knows, like you put like 30 different APIs in there that do a bunch of different things. And the GPT, as people are chatting with your chatbot, like if something relevant comes up that it thinks it should call the API for, it'll do that. And
Can you specify on that API, like if I want to do only videos for like FTC legal or whatever, I could do that?
you could,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure you could put that in the instructions too. So even though the GPT has access to the whole YouTube
I
API,
see. Yeah,
the,
you put in instructions for
the
the schema.
instructions, yeah, it'll cater the discussion to follow whatever it is you're trying to push that conversation through.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It's a what a lot of people don't realize is it's actually a lot smarter than we think it is. So just by modifying like a little instruction to go along with that schema, it can change the whole thing around so you don't have to go in and like modify all these endpoints and stuff like that as well.
Okay. Thank you guys for doing that. I appreciate it. And thanks,
Yeah.
Marcin, for putting that video in the chat. Now I can look at that. I didn't have that one from Chris.
Yeah, so I guess the main goal here for everyone, we want you guys to make, the best GPTs possible and really, sell this service, as one of our beginning users.
Yeah, and on that note, do you have any plans for courses, or maybe do you already build GPTs for people? Because what if I need help, or what if I have a client I need to build a chatbot for, and I would like to reach out to you.
Yeah, anytime you have something going on like that with a client or anything, or say you're trying to build out a GPT, we can always work something out to get something built for you or your client.
Great, thank you. You mentioned, guys, earlier that this Authflow will work with you can create paywall for different GPTs. Meaning, can I take this outside of ChatGPT?
Yeah, for sure. So, what's really happening when you're setting up that custom GPT and you're getting that schema is just telling ChatGPT, hey, there's an API out there called Authflow. Call it when you need to. So APIs are not just restricted to GPT. Like APIs can be consumed by any, millions of services that are out there. So that schema just tells you how our API works, and if you want to use it somewhere else, you would just kind of have to kind of look at what you're plugging it into and do the appropriate measures to connect it there. Not to mention also those paywall, those links that you see in there that takes you directly to the Stripe page. Those don't need to be integrated into anything if you don't want. Like you can actually take those links and distribute them out to whoever, we're kind of banking on, you guys and more people as more people sign up to figure out the different use cases that make the most sense and kind of take those success stories and kind of build guides out and stuff too, to kind of explain how you can leverage all these different things here.
I think you froze for a second. Oop, might be me.
No, I think everybody's just digesting all this information.
Oh. Yeah, so any more questions, you guys?
Will you send this like video link for this whole conversation to the people that are on this call?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we will do that.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I have
Thank you.
a quick question. Because I never built any GPT aside from ChatGPT, and I wanted to build my own sort of model connected to API of ChatGPT. It's like having my own little platform. What services or platforms do you recommend for someone with no programming experience to build actually a GPT, if there's a way to do it?
Like to build, instead of having the user go through OpenAI, you're saying build like your own.
Yeah.
Okay, what I would really suggest there is use Bubble. I don't know if you ever heard of Bubble.
Bubble.
Bubble's like a low code, no code, like website builder, but it, you can kind of like create OpenAI. You can use the OpenAI API to like build out on like boxes or forms, so you can actually have that kind of interaction with that within there. It's definitely a learning curve, so it's not really something I can fully tell you exactly how to do, unfortunately.
That's fine, thank you.
Yeah, Bubble definitely has gotten very popular, but so Bubble is, that's how you can build a platform. Another one, I guess, maybe to look at would be Zapier for automations, because a lot of platforms,
Yeah.
you might have custom things you need to have happen. So Zapier is a very popular tool for that. But I would start those couple tools there.
I guess the main thing is, do you guys know how to implement this paywall?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, pretty simple. And
Yeah.
then,
Yes.
do you have anything you want to add on, Barry?
It's all pretty straightforward, like you said, copy and paste. So great presentation and the
Awesome.
platform you're building, guys.
Thank you. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. We've been
Definitely
working
appreciate
night
it.
and day. We don't sleep.
Yeah,
Thank you for including me. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
and yes, great.
some.
Thank
I guess the
you.
last thing I'll just mention, this obviously we're still working on this. Some of the screens don't have anything in them yet, so we're working towards showing analytics, data, things like that. At any point, if you have any feedback or questions or whatever, feel free to reach out. You can reach out to us directly, or I think the feedback and support links there, like those will actually just, yeah, there's no email there, but the support at Authflow is like the email that we're monitoring for any feedback as it scales up and there's more people involved. So feel free to give any feedback at all, even if it's critical feedback. We accept it all. We want to make sure this thing is like as good as it possibly can be.
This is great, you guys. It really
Thank you.
is so cool to be in on the beginning of this with y'all. It's really, really cool.
Actually, did you notice, guys, we are creating sort of history here.
Yeah, right.
I think so.
It is.
If we get enough people using this, we could actually measure the value of OpenAI, because right now nobody's paying, other than the subscriptions to access ChatGPT. Like, there's no monetary figures out there for what that technology is worth. So
Yeah, and then didn't they say it's free now? So how's that working? Because I'm still paying for mine.
Yeah, so these free users now, they're still gonna have to actually have an account. You're gonna have to be signed in, but if you're like a free user of ChatGPT, you're gonna be able to use these GPTs now. I don't think everyone has access to it yet. I think they're still rolling it out, but I know eventually within the next like few weeks, they will have access for like free users to use GPTs, which ends up opening up this market even more for you to be able to go ahead and charge, user subscriptions to user GPT, because then they don't have to pay that $20 a month to use that GPT on top of your subscription.
Yeah.
The only
So-
difference is the limits. Yeah, the amount.
Yeah, the limits, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? We didn't really put in any, say you're building with Rapid API and you're throwing stuff up there quick, or gonna sell stuff off of Rapid API. The cool thing about, and this really does help, believe it or not, is with having limits that are standard in place with OpenAI, no matter if you're a paid or a free user. When you have those limits, it also helps us out because they're not able to call those APIs millions and millions of times. They're actually able, you can call an API multiple times in one chat, but ChatGPT is actually going to limit them down to, say, whatever it is, the 40 messages per hour, or whatever it is. So that also actually saves your butt when it comes to, say, API costs and stuff like that. Did you guys have any more questions before we kind of wrap this up tonight?
If I have
I
any
don't have a
questions,
question. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, if I have
Go
any
ahead.
more, I'll email.
Okay. All right. Well, this has been an awesome call with you guys, and we really appreciate you guys getting on here and kind of talking to us about this. And any more questions before we kind of head out and kind of wind back around?
Oh, we're good.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Barry, you
Yeah.
want to add, or?
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you
Yeah,
so
no
much.
problem.
I guess my last question would be if I build an online course and I put the link to the subscribe thing to like an upsell to add a GTP that knows the course as like a additive bonus. If somebody purchases that and then they go to OpenAI, do they have access to that GTP if I give them the link because they have the subscription already?
So eventually, yes, but if they're a free user that they don't have ChatGPT yet, then they'll have to sign up for ChatGPT. But like I said, with that rollout of like the GPTs that are going to be available for free users, that's still they're still unleashing that in waves. So I would say for the next like few weeks, just kind of wait on that. But yeah, eventually it's going to be to the point where you can send that link to your subscription. They sign up for your subscription. They're not even signing up on the GPT. Say they're signing up on your website. And then what you could do is like redirect them to that GPT where they can use that email that they signed up with on that GPT.
Yeah, you could do something like you could mass email, like, I don't know if you got a list, mass email everybody, hey, I got this content coming up. Here's a link to subscribe. Once you have done that, click the link here. It'll take them directly to the GPT and, tell, that's part of the instruction of the email. Be like, hey, after you've made your payment, you're going to use your email here to gain access to whatever it is you're marketing out there.
Awesome. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys hopping on here. And then if you think of any questions, you can reach out to us anytime and kind of pick our brains.